Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I think the uniqueness of the Reggae Girlz is they embody the national motto of Jamaica, which is out of many one people. So when you look at the entirety of the Jamaica squad, you have dark-skinned girls, mixed-race girls, girls who have black and Asian in them. You also have the homegrown players, so like your Bunny Shaw, your Konya Plummer, your Den Blackwood. So what that means in terms of from a grassroots perspective is girls who are born in Jamaica can look at a Bunny Shaw and hear that authentic accent and say, you know, if Bunny can make it, then so can I. Once you hear that authenticity, that raw Jamaican accent, they should be able to look at a Bunny Shaw who's now our captain to say, if Bunny can do it, especially if you come from the same community, the same parish as her, if she can do it, then so can we.
I want to give a big bless up to the Reggae Girlz out there. They ain't believing us. Jhon did. Reggae Girlz, keep winning, keep inspiring. I know you're going to be great out there. World Cup. Sadella Marley, number love. Bless up from DJ Khaled.
And I represent for the Reggae Girlz. You know what I mean? Big up on yourself every time. Especially if you're qualifying for the World Cup back to back. You know what I mean? Sadella, big up yourself. One love every time. You know the thing go. Blessing off a flow like a river. Blessing off a flow like a river. What the Reggae Girlz do? Left them name night earth like a queen. Me have to big up the top soccer team. You know Massacre represent. Jamaica support you every time. You know the thing go.
Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I feel like I'm from UK, you know.
See the moonlights on the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Talawa TV is in the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Got a corner on the telephone. Yeah, this is the Shout Out the Messenger, and you're watching Talawa TV with the host and best. Davis, take it away.
My Talowers, how are you all? Good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning. All depends on where you are in the world. Welcome back to another live stream. I hope you're all in good health. Big up you guys there in the comment section, and to those of you who choose to silently watch, to each their own. If you're out and about, I do hope that you make it home safe and sound. Not seen you on in my comment section before, but I hope that you're well. Which reminds me, I need my phone. I was having a little thought last night. I do apologize for not giving you guys a live stream last night, but as I said, my flow is every other night just because of workload. At the moment, I don't think I can afford to give you guys a live stream every single night. Who knows? Things might change in the future. But before I get started, I had a little thought. I was wondering, like, thinking about all the subscribers there, a couple of my regular subscribers who I haven't seen in a while, and I actually wrote some of their names down, so I'm hoping that they're in good health. I'm actually going to go ahead and read out some names there. I hope everything is good with you guys and your family, and if you're not well, then I do hope that I pray I should say that you're on your way to a steady recovery. So a couple of the names there, Miss Denise McFadden, she is one of my only female subscribers. I've gathered over the last couple of weeks that I actually have more female subscribers than I thought I did. I thought I had like way less, and they've just popped out and they're like, no, actually, I'm one of your subscribers as well. I'm a woman. I was like, okay, that's great, because I definitely didn't realize I had that many. So Miss Denise McFadden, she's actually the only woman I think I haven't seen yet. So my apologies if your name don't get mentioned. It's not on purpose. I do apologize. So these guys, as I said, Miss McFadden, Ambitious Hustler, Amokachi, I hope I didn't butcher your names. Runners. I've seen runners here and there, to be fair, but not on a regular basis. Sterling 739, Brain Drain, Wun. I feel like I've not seen Wun in years. I don't know if you guys have contact with Wun. By the way, let me know if my background is bothering you. I might have to get up in a bit. I don't know where I put the remote. Rookie error. Let me know if you guys can hear my background sound, and I'll go ahead and do the necessary adjustment. But as I was saying, Wun. Does anyone know where Wun is? Because I've definitely not seen that brother in years. I pray to God that he's well. I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know. R-Biz. Definitely haven't seen R-Biz in a while as well. Richard Stewart, Sean Sutherland, Tennessee Lewis. I see Tennessee Lewis here and there, to be fair, but I don't think I've seen him like in some weeks or so. Yardflex Entertainment, Parky, Charles Brammer, Special Edition. That's Mr. Special Edition. My bad. Kyle Wallace and Nandi Bakari. I hope I've pronounced all your names correctly. Of course, one of my regulars is here, Hot Chili Pepper. I've seen you here and there, Hot Chili, hence your name being mentioned. But yeah, I had some thought to myself last night and I was just like, wait, where are all these guys? I was like, I've not seen them in a while. To be fair, I'm going to take the hit because I think it is to my fault. Much of it is my fault. I wasn't live streaming for a while, so I'm going to take the hit and take total blame. So before I started my live stream, I just wanted to just give those guys their special shouts out. I've been doing live stream back to regular live streaming, more than regular, because I've done in the last month, a month and some days or weeks, I've done over 20 plus live streams, which is a record for my standards. So I'm proud of myself. So since coming back, I've done a string of live streams, and hopefully I can continue and not drop the ball on you guys. I will say if it does get dropped, it's not intentional. It's not intentional. Pokeri Sims, where have you been? You haven't been here in some weeks. Good to see you in the comment section. I trust that you're all in good health, you guys there in the comment section. And if you're not, I do hope that things change for the better. Now, tonight, I'm really excited about tonight's live stream, actually. You guys have probably already seen the thumbnail. I'm going to be talking, actually, context. I was, before the Champions League kicked off, because I did figure out that Leon Bailey and Aston Villa will be playing tonight. So I was like, okay, going to be talking about Leon Bailey, irrespective of how his performance goes tonight or went tonight. This was just me preempting some stuff. And the reason being, I received a couple comments in the last couple of days or so in regards to Leon Bailey, and a few of the comments were saying, paraphrasing, they don't want him in the national team. They can do better without him. And I was like, oh, really? Really now? Who do we have to replace Leon Bailey? Who is your pick? I'm still sat here scratching my head trying to think, who could this mystery person be? Maybe you guys know more than myself. Of course, you all know that at some point I sidestepped away from following the men's football where the Reggae Boys are concerned because it got a little bit too toxic for my liking and I couldn't cope. So I just backed that to one side and focused on the Reggae Girlz. But I'm back now and I'm trying to give you guys a balance. I'm trying to do the Reggae Girlz content and the Reggae Boys content. So please educate me, bring me up to speed, tell me what I cannot see. I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and opinions on the whole Leon Bailey situation there, where as it relates to our national team. We do have a press conference coming up. I believe it's on Friday. I don't know if JF put it on their Twitter. I know we received a announcement some days ago, which I read to you guys. And that is where we should be getting the team announcements. We should be getting the team announcement. Actually, go ahead and actually bring that up on screen for you guys. So yeah, so for a bit more context, I saw someone in my comment section as well saying that they're hoping that he doesn't get called up. Another person said, paraphrasing, that they believe that he's just not going to accept the call-up. So I was like, okay, clearly you're not out the woods yet where Leon Bailey is concerned. I'm not here to sway your opinion. I want to tell you that from the jump. I am not here to sway your opinion. I will say with everything that you get, and it goes for every single player, every single athlete, and anything that you consume, in whether it's a little bit or in its bulk, whether it's through traditional media or new media, I would say take it with a pinch of salt. Again, I am not here to persuade you. You don't have to think the way I think. I also want to know what you guys are thinking, because maybe that may help to reshape or realign me to perhaps think differently or look at things from another perspective. So you should be able to see that press conference there, that pending press conference for the Jamaica, from the Jamaica Football Federation, I should say. My apologies. It's a nice and easy read. Jamaica land we love. Of course we do. And it does say in bold, press conference, members of the media. There will be a press conference at 11 a.m. on Friday, the 4th of October, 2024 at the Jamaica Football Federation to announce the squad for the October window of the CONCACAF Nations League. The fixtures in this, oh my God, Siri, relax. Sorry if you guys can hear Siri. I'm not really sure. A little bit nosy at times. Sorry about that, guys. So it says here the fixtures in this window will be played on October 10th and October 14th. We look forward to your punctuality. And so yeah, so that is what is it? 11 a.m. That's 11 a.m. Jamaica time. So don't if you're in America or wherever you are based outside of Jamaica, a bit like myself, don't show up 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. My apologies, your time, because you're gonna get what the dot gets. And we already know what the dot got, don't we? Okay, so let me take a little glance of what you guys. Oh, winger pool isn't deep enough to say that, to be honest. And I'm going to stick right there. I'm gonna go back to Hot Chili comment in a bit. Big up yourself, bless love. I hope you are in good health. I adore your voice. I actually don't like my voice. I feel like my voice is too high pitch. Crystal and Konku. I think I pronounced that one right. Correct me if I didn't. Yeah, I think my voice is a little bit too high pitched. So it's taken me a lot of confidence to actually do live streams, funny enough. Or even, I don't even listen back to my live streams for the most part. I can now, but when I was just starting off, like, in my early years at uni, I didn't listen back to my recordings because I thought my voice was just far too high pitched for my liking, and I still think it is. But anyways, let's just continue with talking about Leon Bailey, Aston Villa, and the Champions League. And I'm gonna leave Hot Chili's comment on the screen because I'm gonna go back and forth with that one. Right. And you guys feel free to drop your comments in the comment section. As I said, a few people have jumped into a few of my videos in the last couple of weeks, in particularly the last couple of days. I'm guessing they're anticipating the inevitable squad announcement there from the Jamaica Football Federation. You guys will get that live and direct from the Football Federation this Friday. So you don't have long to go. I'm firmly into my Thursday morning, so I have an additional day to go. But you guys have to catch up to speed. So really and truly, I'm not ahead of you because it comes from Jamaica direct. Right. So tonight's game, Aston Villa against Bayern Munich. Shall we do a little bit of history lesson, guys? I reckon we should. One moment there before we get into that. Let me try and bring something up on my screen. It will all make sense to you guys. Don't worry. It will all make sense in a second. Let me just try and share something on screen. Is this gonna make me get a copyright? Let's go ahead and listen. I don't know if I want to play that actually. Okay, I probably won't play that. We're not trying to get a copyright. All right, so let me go ahead and bring some context to you guys, right? So we're going to be looking at the Champions League fixture there against the big heavyweights, Bayern Munich. A little bit of a deja vu, and I'll get into the deja vu for you guys. And by the way, I do hope that you've seen Jhon Durán's goal because I am still beaming at that goal. I actually played it a few times, and 3 or 4 times before I started the live stream because it is a wicked goal. We're going to talk about that goal. If you haven't seen it, don't be in a rush. Don't leave me. Stay with me. When I finish my live stream, then we can go and look at that goal there from Jhon Durán. I think that is in the contention there being goal of the season in the Champions League, and definitely Aston Villa's goal of the season. I think that one's going to be hard to top. Let's go ahead and look at some history there as it relates to these two clubs clashing. I am framing this one as football heritage, and I think you guys will agree with me when we look at a couple of the obvious there as it relates to history, football, and some deja vu. So the headline does read for itself. I do hope that you guys can see the headline on the screen in front of you. If you don't want to read it, I'll go ahead and read it for you. It says 40 years on as Villa conquer Bayern Munich to win the European Cup. Yes, Aston Villa, unlike most clubs' men's team, they do have European silverware firmly in their trophy cabinets. They've got that beautiful trophy with the big A's firmly in their trophy cabinet, unlike certain clubs who I will not name. Aston Villa lifted the European Cup on this day in 1982 after beating Bayern Munich 1-0. 1-0, a bit like tonight's scoreline. There's your first half of your deja vu at the De Kuip Stadium in Rotterdam. And this I know it does say on this day, but this particular article was actually written on the 26th of May, 2022. So though it says on this day, it is a dated article, right? And you can see here the goal scorer, Peter Witt, struck the decisive blow of the 67-minute, turning home a Tony Morley cross to secure the club's first European trophy and spark jubilant scenes among the traveling support. And this was something that I already knew of in terms of the scoreline and when the goal was scored. And I was absolutely, as I said, beaming and just proper happy for Leon Bailey, Aston Villa, and also for Mr. Jhon Durán as well. And I'll go ahead and show you the reason why that is. If my screen can cooperate with me, I think I might have to do something else. So do bear in mind what I just said. Do you remember Peter's goal there was struck, the decisive goal there from Peter? That one was struck inside the 67th minute. And do you remember that this Bayern Munich club, this is the same club that Aston Villa defeated back in 1982 to win the European Cup. So it's like, okay, lovely bit of history there. Then fast forward over 4 decades and counting, and they meet again on Europe's biggest stage. I think aside from the World Cup, nothing compares to the Champions League. And you can see the other half of that deja vu there, 1-0. And if we go down, we can see something amazing that happened. You can see that it was a super sub. For context, I do want to have us all on the same page. Super sub, Mr. Jhon Durán completed the deja vu. I'm going to scroll down so you guys can see when he came on. So he came on for Mr. Ollie Watkins inside the 70th minute, I should say, 7-0. So inside the 70th minute, Jhon Durán came on. And let's say not that long, less than 10 minutes later, he scored what I believe is 100% a goal of the season contender. Possibly this will stand as it is early doors, I do know, but the goal is so outrageous, so stunning that I think it's going to be hard to top. Maybe Jhon Durán himself might actually outdo himself. You never know. Maybe Leon Bailey might have something to say about that, or even Ollie Watkins. I do think that Aston Villa have a decent crop of players, not even decent. They do have a wonderful crop of players there to select from who could potentially produce some more glamorous goals. So there you have it, where Jhon Durán scored inside the 79th minute. That is 9 minutes after being subbed on for Ollie Watkins. And it was a glorious goal. If you guys have not seen it, I do advise you to go ahead and check it out in your own time. And tonight, as I've said on so many other live streams, a historic night. Is the first time in over 40 plus years. So that's just a little over 4 decades since Aston Villa themselves have positioned themselves on the biggest stage in football, with the exception of the World Cup. I'll go ahead and show you guys what things look like coming into the game before I continue with my conversation. A little bit of focus there on Jhon Durán, just because I think he definitely deserves his flowers, but obviously keeping it strictly Jamaica content related, we're going to be talking about Leon Bailey. So there you have it there. Before tonight's game, head to head, it was 1 match apiece, with Leon Bailey's Aston Villa being victorious in that one game. Now it's 2 match. Sorry, my bad. I said 1 match apiece. Forget what I just said. 1 match played prior to tonight's game. Now it's a total of 2 matches, and that's 2-2 for Aston Villa, right? 2 goals scored, and it's amazing, isn't it? Deja vu hit Bayern Munich once more. Still not able to clip the wings of Aston Villa, and you can see the year there where Aston Villa won their European silverware. That was in the season of 1981 to 1982. They have 1 Champions League in their back pocket, and they were up against definitely one of the giants of the competition with 6 titles in their name, Bayern Munich. And if you guys weren't excited for tonight's game, then I really don't know what to tell you. I do not know what to tell you. I will say this though, as someone who has fallen into multiple traps before, I will say this, do not hold it against me. And this is just based on sort of things that I've seen in my comment section as it relates to Leon Bailey. I'm trying to like read the script. So I will say, do not, guys, for the love of God, do not allow your hatred or bitter dislike for Craig Butler or Leon Bailey's sour relationship with the Jamaica Football Federation to stop you from embracing one of our own who is currently playing for one of England's most successful clubs. This has happened to me before where a player might leave my club and I read the headlines and I consume a lot of media and I start to like turn against the player and I'm not interested in what the player does and I end up robbing myself of enjoying the beautiful game, as they like to call it. So as it relates to Leon Bailey, yes, I know that Leon isn't blameless. And some of you might have a dislike towards him. Some of you might have a disinterest towards him. I'm fully aware that he is not blameless with some of the things that's happened at the international level. But I think for the most part, if I'm being honest here, I feel like a lot of the bashing that he does get, the overarching reason for people not liking him, I don't think it's to do with him per se. I kind of feel like that's at the feet of your Craig Butler, almost as if whatever you cannot say to Craig Butler, you say it to Leon Bailey. Again, I will say he is not blameless. I do agree to what I do agree with when you guys say that, you know, he said this, he's done that, etc., etc. I do agree with that. And as I said, the sour relationship there between Leon Bailey and the Jamaica Football Federation, I understand all of that. But again, do not allow what is said in either, mainly I should say, because traditional media don't really rant on about Leon Bailey, mainly new media. Do not allow what is said or put out there by new media to cloud your judgment or to stop you from embracing a wonderful moment, because I know that the people from Colombia will be enjoying tonight's Champions League occasion back in one of their own, watching him create history. So I think that it would be great if we could do the same for a Leon Bailey. Again, I know that he isn't blameless in some of your dislike for him. I do understand it, but I will say this, I will reiterate what I have already said. If you can forgive a Mason Greenwood and welcome him with open arms, I do think you can brush aside Leon Bailey's past. And yes, the grey clouds that harbors over your Leon Bailey's head and your Mason Greenwood's head is not the same. It is not the same. But I will say that if you're choosing to rock with the latter and dump the other, then I do think you need to go ahead and give your head a little wobble, because it does not make sense to me at all. And this is purely based off what I'm gathering from the comment section on my couple of the videos that I've done over the last couple of weeks, days, weeks, and now over a month and counting. I am gathering a little narrative that's being spun. So again, don't rob yourself. Enjoy the moment. I think it feels great. It's a blessing to know that one of our own. Let's remind ourselves that he is not playing for Jamaica because of or through XYZ, through a family member or whatever. He's playing for Jamaica because he's Jamaican born. Not that it matters to me, you know, if you're playing for Jamaica because of heritage, it matters not to me. I could not care less. I just want you to show up and give a tremendous account of yourself. So he is one of our own. He does belong to us. And yes, I know there's a bit of a sour taste in your mouths when it comes to all the things that's happened in the past, but do go ahead and enjoy tonight's occasion. Enjoy the fact that he's playing Champions League football. Enjoy it, soak it up, because the Colombians are going to be soaking it up and backing their boys. The English are going to be soaking it up and backing their Ollie Watkins. Enjoy these moments, because tonight is another moment that has been etched in Aston Villa's history book. The fact that we're sat here talking about someone like Peter and his goal from 1982, that is just over 40 plus years. I think that's over 41 years. Someone who's great at maths, correct me in the comment section. You know, it just goes to show that within the next 50 plus years or so, people are going to be sat here talking about your Jhon Durán. They're going to be talking about these iconic moments in the Champions League. They're going to be talking about the fact that Unai Emery brought back Champions League football to Villa Park after waiting some 4+ decades. They're going to be talking about Unai Emery's squad, and whether some of you like it or not, Leon Bailey is part of Unai Emery's squad. His name will be mentioned. I promise you, his name will be mentioned. So do not allow the past to rob you of your present. Enjoy the moment, soak it up, embrace it. Because tonight, for what was done at Villa Park, that's going to be talked about for years to come. Maybe in the next century, people are going to, not just Aston Villa fans, but people like you and I. Sorry, guys, but I don't think we're going to be here in 100 years' time. But definitely football fans will be making reference to iconic moments like these, pending that the Champions League still stand. I should think that it would still be around, unless it gets brushed aside by the Super League, which I don't think is going to be happening. But I don't know. I can't predict the future. But most certainly, as I said, nights like tonight, you go ahead and you write your names in the history book. I will go back and look at that lineup there, and also when Leon Bailey come into play before I continue to talk about Leon, because he is actually the main focus of tonight's occasion, tonight's live stream. But I do think I also need to talk about Jhon Durán. As I said, one of a spectacular goal scored by him. And just like your Unai Emery, just like the Unai Emery army and your Leon Bailey and his teammates, he could be talked about for the next 50 plus years and counting. You know, if we go back and look at how he came to Aston Villa, I think it might surprise some of you who aren't aware of his trajectory and how he came to signing for Aston Villa. So I'll go ahead and bring you all on the same page as myself, just for context before we move on and talk about our very own Leon Bailey. So this is a press release there from Aston Villa, written on the 23rd of January 2023, and it says Aston Villa is delighted to confirm Jhon Durán has completed a permanent transfer from Chicago Fire. Yes, Chicago Fire, for an undisclosed fee. And it does continue by saying the 19-year-old striker joins Villa, having scored 8 goals in the MLS. Yes, Major League Soccer, the MLS side, in all competitions during the 2022 season. It completes by saying an exciting young talent, Duran has represented Colombia at senior level. And it just made me laugh because MLS, I'm sure, I'm not making up things here, for what we can see within our own little YouTube community, YouTube circuit, I think it's safe to say that MLS is a league that isn't respected by people. A lot of people, I should say, some people just don't respect the MLS. You hear a lot that gets said about the MLS, and we're not even going to touch on the USL because we're not trying to gather a certain audience in the comment section. But it's so funny to me. I really did laugh because it just reminds me of, it kind of just rang home to me that a league that is frowned upon by a lot of football fans, not just us in the Jamaica football circuit, but just probably globally, has helped to produce a player who I believe, based on what we've seen of Jhon Durán over the last couple of games and counting, if he continues on this upward trajectory, then he will at some point have the world at his feet. And when I talk about the world being at his feet, you got to look at potentially, it is early days, but clubs will come knocking. If he's producing these spectacular goals and he's coming up clutch, and he's come up clutch on a number of occasions, come up clutch in the Premier League, he's come up clutch in the Carabao Cup, and also now the biggest of them all is the Champions League, the biggest football competition except for the World Cup. And if you have not seen that goal from tonight by Jhon Durán, which gave the Aston Villa a deja vu scoreline and a deja vu win over Bayern Munich. As I said, no rush. Do watch it in your own time after we finish tonight's live stream, but it does ooze with class. I will say it for the final time that I do think that it will go down as one of the Champions League goal of the season contender. What does tonight's result mean for Aston Villa and Leon Bailey and your Jhon Durán and your Unai Emery. I'm not going to jump the gun. I won't jump the gun. I won't get too carried away. As happy as I am for Leon Bailey and Aston Villa, I'm not going to get too carried away. But from, scratching the surface a bit, taking into consideration what I've already said to you guys in terms of the deja vu scoreline, the 1-0 from back then, winning the European Cup, the 1-0 from tonight, beating Bayern Munich on 2 occasions. You can see the wins there in front of you. I think that is a classic case of what we like to call football heritage. Bayern Munich with 6 titles in their back pocket, Aston Villa with 1 title in their back pocket. I wouldn't go as far as to say that it's a psychological edge. I don't think it is a psychological edge, but big nights does call for big moments, and that was a big moment there from Jhon Durán, super sub, and he hit Bayern Munich with some deja vu. And I think what you gather from moments like that is a classic case of self-belief, being resilient, relishing the opportunity. And overall, I think, maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but this is a perfect example of one grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck. And when that goal went in, I don't know if you guys watch WWE, but growing up, I watched WWE with my cousin. He even bought the game SmackDown versus Raw. And whenever he went out, I will say, whenever he went out, he allowed me to play his PlayStation. So I grew up as a massive WWE fan. So when that goal went in, all I could think of was just the Stone Cold Stunner. If you guys don't watch WWE, it will make no sense to you. I'm aware that I'm talking to a football audience, so I will go no further. So yes, it did remind me of some WWE. I was like, that is a stunning, stunning goal. Do take your time to go ahead and give it a watch. Before I continue with the Leon Bailey conversation that I do want to touch on, again, the purpose of tonight's live stream, in case I haven't made myself clear, I'm just trying to help us all go on the same page. Do not rob yourself of embracing these wonderful moments, these historic moments. I've made mistakes in the past where players have left my club and I turn a blind eye to them because of all the nonsense that I've consumed in back then, mainly traditional media, and I robbed myself of embracing and experiencing some wonderful moments. So don't do what I've done. But before I continue, let me go ahead and turn my attention to the well, I didn't want to mention a certain men's team from North London, so I think we understood where I was going with that one. Yes, unlike a certain Arsenal. Jhon Durán scoring bangers this season. Absolutely, 70th and 79th banger. He is scoring some wonderful goals this season. I think he scored a penalty there also against a what's their name again? Wickham Wanderers in the Carabao Cup. 6 points, villains. I like that. Hello, I think Aston Villa is tailor-made for the Champions League more than the Premier League. I like that, Errol. I did look, and well, we all know the story of Unai Emery in cup competition. It's a very European cup competition. Bit of a shame that he couldn't win the Europa League with Arsenal. I think he made a few mistakes, and I'm no expert, but one of the mistakes that I think he made was, people probably going to put me down for this, was starting check in goal. And the reason why I'm saying this is, I'm pretty sure, if memory serves me well, it did not take less than 24 minutes for him to go back to his ex being Chelsea. And who did we play in the final? Chelsea. So I'm just wondering how switched on Czech was on that night's occasion. But, Unai Emery, when it comes to playing in Europe, yes, particularly the Europa League, he has come up clutch. He's backed his chat. He has European silverware in his back pocket. And perhaps this is the perfect combination, the perfect relationship for him, because just like Unai Emery with his individual accolades, Aston Villa also have European silverware in their back pocket. So they might just actually complement each other, unlike what happened with him and at Arsenal. Yes, it is different levels. You do have context of everything. I think Unai Emery, he did the best he could with Arsenal. I will give him that much of a credit. He did the best that he could with that toxic bunch. He did the best that he could, and he helped to stabilize the ship. I believe that was the first European final since the Champions League final way back in 2006. So he definitely gave the fans that breath of fresh air enjoyment factor that we hadn't experienced in well over a decade and counting. So he did the best he could with that depressing and toxic Arsenal squad. um Unai Emery is a tournament coach, real champion. We have to pass, but it would be good if he could say something public though. I hear you, I ref Morris. I hear you. I'm not going to disagree with you. I think I understand where you're coming from. I think I understand where you're coming from, to be honest with you. It's not something that I'm going to push back on. I do see why you would say that he could come out and make a public statement. Who knows? You might get something from him if when we see the what do you want to call it, the squad announcement in about 2 days time. You guys are still in your Wednesday, so I say 2 days time. We might actually see Leon Bailey in a pre-match or post-match conference, and who knows, maybe then that's when he might give you guys the apology that you guys are searching for, or addressing the then issue. I don't know. I'm just saying. I saw someone in the comment section that asked if Leon Bailey was injured. So for context, I'm looking at a screen that you guys can't see. So let me first of all apologize, and let's go ahead and give that another spin, and we can I'm sure someone in the comment section asked if Leon Bailey is injured. I took a quick little glance. So let's go ahead and give you some context. You just reminded me of something as well, which I needed to touch on. So thank you for that. So Leon Bailey did not start tonight's game. You can see there, not in the starting 11. He was, however, positioned on the bench, and he went on. He came on. So let me go ahead and see. First of all, when I saw that he wasn't in the starting 11, didn't watch the game itself, so you guys will have to tell me about Leon Bailey. But when I saw that he wasn't in the starting 11, I wasn't surprised because of the last string of games there where Aston Villa are concerned, from Champions League to, I believe Europa League, Europa League, and also Premier League, more so Premier League, where he's been starting and then he would get taken off within the 60-minute mark. He would get substituted within the 60-minute mark. And I think that's just Unai Emery being protective of him, because he is one of Aston Villa's star players, like your Ollie Watkins, like your Jacob Ramsey. He is one of their star players, like it or not. It's just facts. Like your Emi Martinez, he's one of those players that Unai Emery turns to. So I think, given that he's coming back from injury, and we do know across the Premier League, a couple of the teams there in the, let's say, the top 6, they've already been hit with a string of injuries here and there. Aston Villa have also been hit with injuries. I believe Tyrone Mings is still on the injury, the sidelines, if I'm not mistaken, and also Matty Cash. I think Matty Cash is also on the injury list. The injury list there, and I think they might have a few other players there. I'll go ahead and look at their starting 11 and their bench again. So Leon Bailey actually came on for Jacob Ramsey, and that was on pretty early doors, because Jacob Ramsey, it says here, Ramsey has pulled up with a problem, and unfortunately for the homegrown academy product, his home debut in the Champions League ends early as Leon Bailey comes on. So yes, this substitution does make sense. It was probably always going to be that way, with Unai Emery planning in mind. Leon Bailey coming in, Leon Bailey coming up. I think that is more about Unai Emery choosing to be tactical and also precautionary. I say tactical because not only was Leon Bailey substituted, Onana was substituted as well. Ross Barkley came in for Onana, and also one of their star boys, Ollie Watkins, was substituted, and on came Jhon Durán. So everything, to gloss over what I've just said, I think taking into consideration Leon Bailey coming off the bench, then going back onto the bench, I think that is more of a precautionary and a tactical decision making there from Unai Emery. Most certainly tactical where Ollie Watkins is concerned, because the super sub Jhon Durán came up clutch, and he has scored a spectacular stunner. Again, do check that one out in your own time. So I hope that one answers your question. I did see you there in, oh yeah, Team Aggressive. I know I saw someone asking me that in the comment section. You're a bit like myself. Massive win for Villa. Duran has been on fire this season. Danny Dread, big up yourself. I hope you are in good health. After 1 year in the MLS, he reached the EPL. Big difference to those playing 4 or 5 years there. Massive big difference. I mean, and the MLS is a league that a lot of people frown upon. So it just goes to show, doesn't it? Brown man, good night to yourself. I hope you are in good health. Medea says, IT push. Happy to see you in the comment section. Stone cold stunning goal. And that's exactly what I said. He hit them with a stone cold stunner. I actually want someone to clip that goal and put it to the theme tune of Steve, what's calling Stone Cold, of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I do want them to clip that goal and put the entrance music to Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme tune there. And if you guys don't understand wrestling, don't worry. I'm not going to go too deep. I'm going to stop because I understand you guys are football fans, not wrestling fans. Errol, you are spot on. I don't even know what I'm spot on about, but thankfully something I've said has made sense. So far from the man scored the best goal in the Champions League and in the PL. Bang, bang. Up. Big up Talawat TV. Big up to yourself as well, Ronaldo. All right, so let's just go ahead and continue. Took a quick little break, and let's go ahead and maybe I might leave this one on screen there in front of you all. Do I need to leave it on screen, or should I change it? I think I'm going to leave it on screen. I will be making some necessary changes. I got another Leon Bailey graphic that I want to bring up on screen with you guys. So Leon Bailey again, and you guys have probably missed the first half of what I've said with regards to me thinking that it's high time that we leave the past in the past. And just embrace him for what he is. Embrace Leon Bailey for what he is, because I think, there's one footballer that I really enjoyed watching play, and one footballer that was, for me, I always had him in my corner when it came to defending my country. So, I spent the majority of my school years in England, and there was always this diaspora war. I might have already explained it to you guys, where it will be Jamaica versus the entire continent of Africa. And this was in school. And, I spoke to a lot of the guys in school about football, and they would say, Jamaicans can't play football. Who do you have? And of course, me being me, who did I have to turn to? I turned to Bibi. Bibi was the guy that I always draw for. That was like my finisher, my best move. Of course, we also had, we had the two Ricardos. We had Fuller, and we also had Gardner as well. But for some reason, Gardner also always stuck out more to me. That's not to say that I preferred him, but that was just always the player that I would draw for. I think it was because I perhaps preferred Bolton Wanderers to Stoke City. I mean, who actually liked Stoke City? We all supported Stoke City from a distance, loved them from afar because of Fuller, not because of them, because they were just a horrid football club. And I'm glad they're not in the Premier League. Wouldn't want to see them come up no time soon. I will say something about Stoke City and this bit of news that broke in regards to the Aaron Ramsey injury there. It is pretty nasty stuff. If you guys want to branch off and read that in your own time, do read it. It's probably going to tick you off. Even as a neutral, it will tick you off when you kind of get an understanding as to how Aaron Ramsey suffered that. I believe it was a leg break. That injury there, which pretty much just mash up his whole entire career. You don't have to be an Arsenal fan to be absolutely annoyed at what you will read. I won't ruin it for you unless you guys want me to bring it up. I will. But since we're talking about Leon Bailey, let's continue. So as I said, as it relates to Leon Bailey, it actually sprung on me today. I was like, wow, for everything that he has achieved in his career, for the fact that he's Jamaican born and he plays for Jamaica, he, to a lot of school kids, is him. A lot of school kids, a bit like when I was growing up and I would, draw for my Bibi Gardner. These school kids are now drawing for Leon Bailey, whether you like it or not. Yes, we do have Raheem Sterling, but Raheem Sterling don't play for Jamaica. Leon Bailey does. And I choose those two players because the connection is slightly different, because obviously being born in Jamaica, playing in the Premier League, I mean, Leon Bailey for me definitely deserves more respect. And I do think that this is why I'm saying, take what you hear, even from myself. Don't allow me to convince you to like Leon Bailey. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to, again, allow you guys not to, encourage you guys not to make the mistake that I made. Don't consume or over consume what you hear in new media or traditional media. Like, go ahead and have a mind of your own. Don't be a sheeple, be a people. Think for yourself, right? Because I think you definitely are robbing yourself of some wonderful moments, especially as it relates to Leon Bailey. I look back and I was thinking earlier on today, and I was just like, wow, like the boy from Jamaica is really doing some big stuff, and he does deserve his applause, just like how we would applaud a Khadija Bunny Shaw on the men's side. Is basically the Khadija Bunny Shaw where the men's team is concerned. No disrespect to the other lads, but let's remind ourselves that this is not no Mickey Mouse Leon Bailey. This is Bala Bailey. This is a young man that's played at some of the in a few of the highest leagues in the world, in the highest sporting competitions in terms of levels in the world. The only way he can outdo himself and do better is if he actually helps Jamaica to qualify for the World Cup, and he would have probably completed his set. You know, let's remind ourselves, he's played in the Bundesliga, he's played Europa League, he's played Conference League, he's played in the Premier League, he's played Champions League. And as I said, the highest level that would eclipse that, it's not even going to eclipse it, it's going to complement it, would be the World Cup. And I've already touched on how he came into tonight's game, the fact that he was subbed on and then subbed off. As I said, I think that was a tactical and precautionary decision making there by Unai Emery, taking into consideration their string of injuries so far this season. I'm sure Unai Emery wants to wrap the likes of your Leon Bailey and your Ollie Watkins in cotton wool, because we know what's going to happen in some weeks' time. Then comes when it starts to get a little bit tense. You're going to start to get on your edge, the edge of your seat, that is, because the Christmas period is coming up. And when the Christmas period is upon us, fixtures come thick and fast. And you see what Aston Villa are doing in the league. I believe so far in the league, only Arsenal have beaten them. I think they're can't say unbeaten. Arsenal are the only team to have beaten them in the league. I'm going to go ahead and check that. And now we see them brush aside Bayern Munich, big bad Bayern Munich, with 6 Champions League titles to their name. Deja vu. Let's go ahead and see the Premier League. Yes, they've only lost once in the Premier League. So clearly, and they're sitting on 13 points equal to Chelsea. They're only 1 point behind Arsenal and Manchester City, and 2 points behind league leaders Liverpool. So they're on everyone's heels. They're breathing down your bloody neck. You better not slip, because if you slip, you will slide. So they're handling business where the league is concerned, and they're also holding their own in the Champions League. And this is a club that has Champions League pedigree. Let's not muck about. Let's give them their credit. Let's also give Leon Bailey his credit, because who else from aside from Khadija Bunny Shaw and Manchester City, name me one of our Jamaican player, especially Jamaican born player. Yes, I'm going to go there. I'm going to add emphasis just to echo his importance. Which other Jamaican born player we have playing in the Champions League at the moment? I can't think of any. So you guys might have to give me a gentle reminder. I will say this: I have echoed Leon Bailey's importance in the in the Liam Bailey squad, in the Aston Villa squad. And I think, as I said, he is as equal, as relevant as your Emi Martinez, as your Ollie Watkins. And that speaks volumes. I'll go ahead and show you guys some proof to that, because I don't want you to think I'm trying to brainwash you. Let me go ahead and look at the run-up. What I'm going to show you guys is the run-up, so the hype around the games there. I believe this one was the first game of the season. This was the run-up. The graphics, that you should be able to see this one on screen. This was their run-up to their match there against Mikel Antonio's West Ham United. Right, it says the 17th of the 8th, 2024. So this must have, first game of the season. Yep, it says our first fixture list of the season awaits. And I said, okay, there you go. Done in the graphic there is Emi Martinez, and it makes perfect sense. And for that match itself, in terms of what we would see, I'm assuming this is a program what we would see is another of their star boy, be it Ollie Watkins. You can see it here at the bottom. It says your Aston Villa team to face West Ham. This was their opener. You can see the 31 next to Leon Bailey's name. And what made me smile was when it came to their first home game of the season. The results perhaps didn't make you guys smile because they were gone down by Arsenal. Maybe that was retribution from last season being stung by Leon Bailey. It made me smile because first home game of the season, you're going up against Arsenal, Unai Emery's former club, and you can see our boy there, our compatriot, our countryman, Leon Bailey, and he's donning the cover with some big names. You guys are familiar with the names, so I don't need to read them out for you. But again, you can see the caliber of teammates that he's up against and how he is neatly presented alongside his teammates. And as it relates to, again, I think this is a program, don't quote me, but it does look like the match day program. Here we have it again for that particular match day. So this was like the pre-match stuff in the run-up to the Arsenal match, right? There you have it. He's done in the match day program there. You got the starting 11 and you also got the substitute bench. It says your Aston Villa squad for our home opener. So second game in, I think Arsenal were their second game in, and they played them at Villa Park with our very own Leon Bailey donning the cover. Now, I'm no expert when it comes to how these things are done. I will say I do have a pair of eyes, so I don't need sources to feed me anything. So clearly, based off what we can see, I'm sure you guys saw in preseason as well, he wore the captain's armband. Yes, you do have to look at things within context. You are absolutely right. But I'm not really buying the whole context because that is outside of what he is able to control. So the context that some people might argue and say, oh, the only reason why he wore the captain's armband was because the senior of the rest of the senior team weren't there. Well, obviously, Sherlock, that is the case. That's one of the reasons, because let's remind ourselves, we went into this season on the back end of the Copa America and also Euros. It feels like such a long time ago. So yes, a couple of the players there, the senior guys, typically wouldn't have been around because they would have been on extended vacation. But I don't want us to use that to discredit or to discredit another special moment for Liam Bailey, because I do think people nitpick and find any little thing to kind of downplay the love that he gets from Aston Villa and what he's achieved so far in his career. So I've said, in terms of being rated, definitely you can go and do your own research. It's not something that I've made up. You can go and cast your eyes on Aston Villa's Instagram page. Clearly he's highly rated as them. He's up there when it comes to the build up into these games, wearing the captain's armband in preseason, also being the face on the, what do you call it, the program. Even when they were, selling the Champions League to their fans, like he was one of the main faces that they use. Now, going to me not being an expert, obviously, I'm not in a privileged position where I can sit and know about Leon Bailey's contract. It could be something, what I've just said might be far from the truth, to be honest with you, and I'm going to be balanced in that regard, because aside from them rating him highly, which I think they're well within their right to do that, I also think to complement that, it could come down to seeing Leon Bailey regularly plug across the Aston Villa social media page and on their program. That could come down to something as simple as it is part of his contractual agreements. It could be a case of Leon Bailey's representative might have said for 10 plus games across the season, respective competitions here and there, he has to don the program. It might just be as simple as that. Again, I'm no expert when it comes to how agents go about, stringing up their contracts, but that might be in his contract. It might be part of his contractual agreement as well that will benefit the club. You probably see him out and about doing charitable work with the Aston Villa Foundation. work that's done by Aston Villa within their neck of the woods, their community. He's probably obligated to do so because it's part of his contract. But irrespective of all of that, whether what I'm saying is true, I'm just trying to make sense of it all. And I might be completely wrong, but I'm just trying to make sense of it all. Also, it could be a case of this is the vision that the club sees in him. He's in terms of the vision of the club, he could be part of the future. He could be part of their long-term gratification. Clearly, Unai Emery has had a positive impact on him. He's managed to turn things around. He's blossoming into the player that we saw at Bayer Leverkusen, and he's answered multiple questions. He's answered the can you deliver against Manchester City? Yes, he can. He's done it before. Can you deliver against Arsenal? Yes, he can. He's done it before. Now it's about consistency. Can he also will he crumble under pressure? I think when Diaby went to Aston Villa, a lot of people probably looked and thought that's the end of Leon Bailey, but that was another question answered, I think, if we're being honest with ourselves. So yeah, he's definitely holding his own, and it's refreshing to see. Again, I don't know if this is part of a contractual agreement, but to think the boy from Jamaica is donning the program and being represented well, positively well across Aston Villa's social media platform. And it just, for me, it's just refreshing to see. It's wonderful to see. It's no different to seeing Khadija Banisha in that light. It's a massive positive. It's something that we should definitely applaud. We should be beaming. We should be happy, because to think one of our own birth in Jamaica has managed to achieve what he has achieved. He's playing for one of England's most successful clubs. That's no easy feat. That's no walk in the park. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of dedication, composure, mental and physical toughness. And what he's doing, many can only dream of it. Many boys and girls can only sit and dream of it. People his age have had to give up because they just can't hack it. They can't manage. They can't cope. They don't have it in their arsenal. So it's nice when I see him on the match day program. Although I don't support Aston Villa, it makes me feel happy. It does make me beam with pride, because I look and I say, wow, that is one of our own. And it's something that, rather than people ignoring it, don't ignore it, especially if you're young. If you're young, don't listen to the noise from new media and traditional media. Use this as your motivation to say, if Leon Bailey can do it, so can I. Milk it for what it is worth, because he is living proof that it can be done, that you can come from Jamaica and play in the best league in the world, and you can play in the best football competition in the world. So, growing up, I was very used to seeing moments like these just belonging to players who come from Africa. Big up all the African players of yesteryear and the current. Like I said, growing up, all I really had to work with was the Ricardos, Bibi and Fuller. That was it. I was getting hammered in school by the boys. The boys were just they were just ripping me apart, to be honest with you. They had Samuel Eto'o, they had Essien, they had the Kolo and Yaya. Jesus, I mean, the Drogba, the list is just never ending, and the only two I really had to fight with was the Ricardos. And now they have someone like a Leon Bailey to say that, yes, he's playing for a successful club. He's played across European competitions. He's playing in the best league in the world. He has also, since over the weekend, equaled Jack Grealish's Aston Villa's Premier League assist tally. I believe he equaled that to 16. So yes, he's doing some wonderful stuff. So don't let the noise, don't let personal hatred. I do think a lot of the hate that he gets is because of Craig Butler. I'm not saying it's Craig Butler's fault. I'm just saying I think some people aren't man enough to take on Craig Butler. It's a classic case of, if you can't hurt the person that you want to hurt, then you hurt the ones that's closest to them, which I think is a little bit overly childish. If we're being honest with ourselves, yes, you want to beat him if you want to beat him when he's wrong. Hold him in account of what he's done. But as I said, I see a couple of you, the same ones who are willing to forgive Mason Greenwood are the same ones who are not willing to forgive Leon Bailey. That to me makes zero sense, and I cannot be convinced otherwise. I will say now, as we head into this international window where the men's team is concerned for the October fixtures there. For Nations Leader, I'm firmly looking at the JFF, not just for this window, but beyond. I am firmly casting my eyes on the JFF because, of course, as I said, Liam Bailey isn't blameless in all of this, but I'm looking at multiple things. I'm thinking multiple things can coexist. Yes, we can sit here and we can applaud Leon Bailey. He's been applaudable for Aston Villa. We know that. He's also been silent for Jamaica. We know that at times he's ever the professional for Aston Villa. Probably to an extent, same can't be said for his country. We also know that. But here is where I look at the Jamaica Football Federation, and I just think that, you know what? This is all you're doing, because I think it's high time. I'm sick and tired of the JFF sometimes. It's high time that they get their house in order. You know, policies, as I say, have to be put in place. It has to be one rule for all. And, you know, if something does occur in the future, you have to take swift actions. If, okay, fair enough, protocols get broken, no problem. Swift action. For me, swift action is I'm packing your bags for you and I'm taking you to the nearest airport and you are going home. And when the media, be it traditional or new media, comes knocking, the message is personal reasons. You don't hang him out to dry just because you hate Craig Butler or because you're trying to be spiteful. Like, you don't do that. That's so unprofessional. You protect each other. You know, I'm a massive fan of keeping things internal unless it's something that is of public interest, where I'm like, you know what? Yeah, the fans need to know this. If it's something like, okay, he was something petty that I don't really need to know because I don't care, because there's bigger problems there with our team. You keep it as personal reasons and you keep it pushing. And you know, one thing that we can all agree on is that loose lips sinks ships. So if you all want to talk about going to the pending World Cup, the pending Men's World Cup in, what is it, 2026, you all need to gather yourself and you need to be moving as one, because sometimes you all act like enemies of progress when it comes to each other. I don't really understand where you're looking to get your success from. So as I said, loose lips sinks ships. So I'm not saying that the same thing is going to, history is going to repeat itself, but if history, God forbid, it does repeat itself where Leon Bailey or any of his teammates is concerned for that matter, then the response should be personal reasons, and you leave it at that. That's both for traditional and new media. Leave it at that and deal with things amicably. I also think that, you know, with regards to the Jamaica Football Federation, respect first starts with yourself. You know, as I've said before, if you want anyone to respect you, you have to first respect yourself. That's how it goes. If you act like a joke, people will treat you like a clown. It goes without saying, you know, we know this. So if you want people to treat you accordingly, you want people to treat you with respect, then it first starts with you. And also, above all, leadership starts from the top. Now, I'm looking at, going back to a couple of the comments that you guys said with regards to, you don't want Leon Bailey in the team and that Jamaica don't need him. And I'm scratching my head because I'm like, I don't know, maybe I live under a rock. I don't know, maybe I live under a rock. And I'm like, so who is the player that has replaced Leon Bailey? Because for me, no player has replaced him. You know, we've had players who have been given their opportunity, and I'm not going to scapegoat them and throw their names out there, but I think it's quite clear and obvious who they are. But, you know, yes, they have passed the theory, and the theory is what they do at their respective clubs. They've passed the theory in their performances for their respective clubs, standing up and giving a good account of themselves, but they failed their practical exam when it comes to showing up for Jamaica and showing up in that Leon Bailey position that he has anchored down. You have failed the practical exam. So for me, you can't be given the license to roam. Yeah, you're good enough to be a passenger just like the rest of us. Buckle up, strap up with your seatbelt, but I wouldn't trust you and say that you're good enough to be in the driving seats. I wouldn't ask you to take us home safely, because you've shown me that, yes, you've got your theory in your hand, you've passed your theory, but you've undoubtedly failed your practical. So there's more there to be discussed as it relates to who can I'm not even going to say who's going to replace him because I can't see someone who's going to replace him. That's a lie. You're lying to yourself. There's no one there that's currently replaced him. What I do want to see is someone who's going to challenge a Leon Bailey for him to look and be like, whoa, okay, you're coming from my spot. All right, I've got something for you. I want there to be that healthy competition because I like depth. Depth, if it makes sense. Arsenal's depth at the moment with regards to the defense, especially like the fullbacks, it makes sense. You know, some fans probably don't like it. Oh, they're crying because their favorite baller isn't playing. Cry some more. Cry me a river, Justin. This is what you need. If you want to be successful, you need healthy squad depth. And that's what we need. We need someone who's going to be down on Leon Bailey, looking down on him and saying, look, if you slip, that is it. I am taking your position with both hands and you might just not get it back. Doesn't matter if you're Baller Bailey. Doesn't matter if you're playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world. Doesn't matter if you're playing Champions League football. But right now, no one is saying that. No one is saying whatever language they're speaking, it's foreign. We don't understand the language that they're speaking at the moment. And I'm saying that in good faith. I'm saying that in good faith. No one so far has like swept me off my feet. I've looked and I've just like, okay, see what you're doing with your club. I applaud it, but I don't necessarily. I'm not taken aback by what you're doing with the Jamaica national team. So I wanted to get that off my chest because I was besides myself. I was like, what? Who are you guys watching? No, I don't know who you guys are watching. Anyways, I think I've talked for too much. So let me stick a pin in it and see what you guys are saying in the comment section. Jigo Diane, did I pronounce your name correct? Sorry if I butchered your name. Your commentary is next to none. I am impressed with your football knowledge. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Football, I think this is my first time seeing you. Football is I call it my language. It's one of the very few languages that I speak. And it's my way of decompressing. You know, football is my escapism. You know, when I come here to unwind. I love talking football with people. It's one of my longest serving friendship actually came through football. Matter of fact, when I think about it, aside from family, my best serving friendships all came because of football, funny enough. So thank you. I hope I didn't butcher your name. I think this is my first time seeing you on the channel. Hopefully it won't be the last. Hopefully you pass by here regularly. Let me see some more stuff there in the comment section, guys. Let me see some more stuff there in the comment section. I can't believe I've been speaking with you guys for over an hour already. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Okay, Melissa Reed, bless up. Oh my God, I called you Melissa. I'm so. It's 116. Meles Reed. I'm sorry. I need to learn how to read clearly. I am sorry. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. Gunner's boss, big up yourself, Gunner's boss. What's Gunner's boss saying? Gunner's boss is always coming with something. I'm not gonna bring up that other comment. And Ramsey, big up yourself. And I can't remember. And you know what? My memory isn't that great, but something's telling me this isn't my first time seeing you on my channel. If I'm making up stuff, I do apologize. Runners, I have not. Okay, you've popped up. I don't think you was here for the first part of my show. I was saying you're one of the guys who I haven't seen in a while. So thank God you're here. I'm glad I'm assuming you're in good health. If you're not, I do pray that you will be soon. Right, Father Bling, bless up yourself. Easy. Look, I already touched on a couple of the fact that I do have more female subscribers than I originally thought, and you was one of the female subscribers I had in mind. I did read out a list earlier on of all the people who I haven't seen, and you know, I've been making that a regular habit. I've been reading out a couple names over the last couple of weeks as the names come to me. So if I haven't mentioned your name, please believe it's not intentional. It's probably going to pop into my mind at some point. Forget about the JFF and focus on these players' domestic football careers and local league. Without a foundation, there will not be a house in a hut. My favorite. Yay. I have been okay. I've been okay. I'm glad that I'm back with you guys in the comment section there. I am definitely glad that I am back. Gunners Boss, I'm gonna delete your comments. I don't know what that comment is about with yourself and Reed, but I'm going to delete it. I hope they haven't seen it because I don't want them to feel offended. How does one forget about the JFF though? They are consistent articles talking about the ever present. Yeah, deficit still. It's in the Gleaner or Observer every few weeks. I might have confused you. I think I might have confused you. What did I say? Or maybe I've confused myself. What did I say? I think you might have to add a bit of context to that because I've said a lot and I don't even remember what was said. What made you write this comment? I'm intrigued to know. I'm intrigued to know. And then I will answer your question because I think I know what you're saying, but I don't want to jump the gun. Yes, I do remember you, Sebastian. Bless up to you as well. Bless up to you as well. I hope you are in good health. CPL Iguana. What's that? Caribbean Premier League? What is that? Cricket? You're talking about the cricket? So, guys, I think I've made my points with regards to Leon Bailey. So now I'll allow you guys to throw some questions at me. Also, another thing with Leon Bailey, I've noticed something with him, and he does deserve a bit more credit as well. His media activities. I came across a bit of content recently. I think it was done by the Premier League, right? And they were basically, I think they were asking him about his best goal that he has scored. I think from last season. I think he actually said it was the Manchester City goal. I thought he was going to say the Arsenal goal, but he said Manchester City. Completely irrelevant. But what was relevant to me was the maturity. He sounds much better doing interviews now. Clearly, you know, there's been some background work there. I don't know if you put that down to Leon himself or if you spread that across and say it's Leon, his representative, or more so Aston Villa. But the media, there's some media training there with Leon Bailey, and he needs to continue that. Even when he's talking to us, don't drop the guard. Be a professional. Like you're a professional footballer at the end of the day, so carry yourself as such. I saw how well he spoke, how articulate he spoke in that sit down there with the Premier League, and you need to extend that to your community when you're doing interviews within our community where Jamaica is concerned. Don't get comfortable just because you're talking to your own, because I think you do yourself a discredit by doing so. So keep it professional. Talk to the community like you would with the Premier League or with the BBC or Sky Sports. And I think that way you won't shoot yourself in the foot, because he's definitely made some improvements. You know, he's sounding more articulate, he's sounding more composed, and long may it continue. Oh, it's a girl. See, I told you I have more women in the comment section than I thought. Yeah, cricket, not what? That's a shame, isn't it? Bless up yourself, Jamo Blackie. I hope you are all right. So yeah, guys, you can go ahead and fire some questions at me. I think I'll give you guys some additional minutes. Although I've finished my main point, I don't really have nothing else left to share with you guys unless it pops up in my head. For those of you who have already hit the who have already hit the like button, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Look how they mash up the good Reggae Girlz. You know, I'm going to hold fire with the Jamaica Football Federation. And I'm going to see how things pan out over the next couple of international windows as it relates to the Reggae Girlz. So I'm not going to hang them out to dry. I hope I won't have to. I hope that we can just move on and support each other and pull in the same direction, you know? So let's give them the benefit of the doubt and let's try and, you know, let's see where we're going. I mean, so far, as I said on my other live stream, the only thing that I can potentially complain about was that we have one less friendly to round off the year than we should. You know, the October string of fixtures coming up, we should have actually had 2 games in October, but they're trying. This is better than where we were a year ago. A year ago, as it relates to the Reggae Girlz, I remember the October window very well. We never had no fixtures in the October window, and that was going into the World Cup. The World Cup cycle that was going into the, what do you want to call it, qualification for the, I think the CONCACAF, forgot the name of the competition. The CONCACAF, which one competition name again, guys? My brain's not thinking as it should. Championship? Their competition name again, guys. Do I have to search this? CONCACAF. Can't remember the name of it. You guys know what I'm talking about though, right? Where the women's team is concerned. What's the name of the bloody competition? I think you guys know what I'm talking about. No, not the Nations League. I'm talking about the women's team. I can't think of it right now, but you should be looking at some games there as it relates to the. It's obviously comes under CONCACAF. Maybe if I go back, I can see it. Yeah, it was the championship. It was the championship. I was trying to. I don't know why I second guess myself, but anyways, yeah, it was the championship. I don't know why I thought it wasn't the championship, but anyways, string of fixtures coming up there as it relates to the October window. We have France on the 25th of October. This is a kickoff time is in relates to me, so it says 8 is the kickoff time. Actually, I think I have the press release there somewhere stored on my desktop. I think I have the press release that I can go ahead and give to you guys to make it more fair so you guys get the appropriate kickoff times for you guys there in Jamaica. So right, so we have France coming up, and to round off the year, we have 2 games against South Africa. Let me go ahead and give you guys that press release there since you guys wanted to talk about the women's team. Right, so I am not going to read. Well, I might read the whole thing. I was going to say I'm not going to read the whole thing, but knowing me, I probably will. I'm going to just give you guys the relevant information to avoid sounding like an echo, right? So this one came about some weeks ago, and basically the JFF Football Federation confirmed a hat-trick of friendlies there to round off our year. So that is the 2024 calendar year, and it is positioning us for our subsequent qualification attempt for the pending World Cup there in Brazil. So it says the Jamaica Football Federation have confirmed 3 friendly internationals for the Reggae Girlz as they continue their preparation for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup qualifiers, which kicks off in 2025. The Reggae Girlz will be playing a friendly international against world number 10 France on Friday, October the 25th. And the kickoff is slated for 9:05 local time and 2:05 Jamaica time. France were quarterfinalists in the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. The Reggae Girlz have fond memories with France as Jamaica's first ever FIFA Women's World Cup appearance in 2019 came in France, and Jamaica's first ever points at the FIFA Women's World Cup came against France in the 2023 tournament in Australia in a 0-0 draw. 2-0 would be great, but it wasn't 2-0, it was 0-0. The 42nd ranked Reggae Girlz would also face South Africa, who are ranked 50th in the world, on November 29th and December 2nd at home. At the time, I was told that home means Montego Bay, the Montego Bay Stadium in Montego Bay. But that is to be confirmed. That's a to be TBC. I will let you guys know as things change, things progress. If I get any updates, I'll be sure to share it with you guys. And it finishes off by saying this will be the first time both teams are facing each other since April 2019 in Durban, as both teams played out a 1-0 draw. Both South Africa and Jamaica made their debut in the Senior Women's World Cup in 2019 in France, and in 2023, both teams advanced into the round of 16 of the World Cup. Details will follow in subsequent releases in relation to kickoff times and venues of these two matches. President of the Jamaica Football Federation, Michael Ricketts, welcomes these games for the Reggae Girls, and he said, "We want to give our girls or Reggae Girls, pardon me, the best opportunity to qualify for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. And we feel these upcoming friendly internationals to end the 2024 period are beneficial to the coaching staff and players to help them prepare for the World Cup qualifiers." Finishes off by saying World Cup qualifiers for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup kicks off in CONCACAF in 2025. CONCACAF will have 4 spots for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup, which will be hosted in Brazil, and 2 other teams from CONCACAF will qualify for the Intercontinental playoffs. So, how are we feeling? Early doors, what we're saying, a hat trick of World Cup appearances on the bounce where Jamaica is concerned. That's how I'm feeling, to be honest with you. But yes, back to the main event, Leon Bailey. I segue a little bit because I think someone touched on the Reggae Girls, so I segue just a little bit. Someone says Leon Bailey is the main character. Someone says Rudolph Speed. I don't know what that's in relation to. Nations League. Have you taken in this podcast yet? It is really interesting and hilarious. Goalless with Russell Howard. No, I haven't. No, I have not. I'm assuming this is about goals, footballs then, right? Football then, right? Chris Whittingham. No, I've not. I have not. Pick up yourself, Devin. I hope you are well. Can you invite me to England? If I had a plane, I would send a plane for you. Right, Talawa, let me know about you. You are a nice lady. I will always watch your channel. Big up Ryan. Big up Mr. LFC, or I should say Elite Sports, Intense Sports. I've never been shy to tell you guys, and I'll always say it, definitely without even being asked, that he played a role in helping me to branch out into our community. Definitely helped to get me settled in the community. I'm sure you guys have seen him on my channel a handful of times, and I'm sure you guys have seen me on his channel as well. Jamal Blackie, I live in New York. Big up New York. And to my was there in Florida. I hope you're all in good health. Those of you who were affected by the hurricane and the storm. Was it both that hit Florida, guys? I hope that you guys are in good health. I hope that there were no severe damage caused either to yourself or your properties or to your loved ones. I hope that you're all in good health. When will the coach release the squad list? I am Friday. They will release that one on Friday. Maybe the Jamaica Football Federation might live stream it. I did mention that at the start of the show. I'll go back and see if I can find the Jamaica Football Federation's tweet or X, whatever you guys want to call it. You guys should be able to see this. So for the comment that's potentially on my screen, I'm not sure if I removed it. There will be a press conference at 11 a.m. on Friday, the 4th of October. And that's going to be hosted at the Jamaica Football Federation's HQ. And that is where they'll announce the squad list for the October window of the CONCACAF Nations League. And you guys can keep your eyes on their platform. Helen. I'm sure it was Debbie and Helen. I couldn't remember Helen's name, but yes, Debbie and Helen. So me and Ryan build champions. Can't argue with that. I know Russell. I definitely know Russell. I know I haven't watched his content in a while, but yeah, I know Russell. If the comedian, yeah, British comedian. Oh yeah, I just read your thing. They are talking about the Champions League and other competitions. Okay, it should be funny if he's sticking to his comedy. When will the Champions League be playing? Well, Champions League. I don't know when's the Champions League match. Do we have more Champions League games coming up? Ah, okay. So we have match day 3 of 8 coming up, and that is in October. Latter stages of October, that is. Go ahead and show you what that one looks like. There you go. So in terms of Aston Villa, their next game is on the 22nd of October. And in terms of the table, that's how the table is looking. You have Aston Villa in 6th. In terms of the, what should we do? Okay, so the teams highlighted in blue there, they go off to the next round. Teams, if it ends this way I'm assuming after the 8 games are played, this is what will happen. Qualification, next round, those are the guys in blue, and in terms of the playoffs, those are guys in orange, right? So let's start off with blue. In the number 1 position, you have, and they are actually there based on goal difference, because you can see 7 teams have accumulated 6 points, maximum points so far. And those 7 teams, for context, Dortmund out in front, closely followed by Brest, Benfica, Leverkusen, Liverpool, Leon, not Aston Villa, and Juventus. And the 8th team there that will just as I said, in terms of blue, go on to the next round is Manchester City. So from 9 all the way down to 24, these are the other teams there that would go to the playoff. Of course, there's a string of games to come, so you ain't really got to worry about nothing here. But to round that up, you got Inter, Sparta Praha, Atalanta, Sporting, Arsenal, Monaco, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid. I think this is Lyon, PSG, Celtic, Club Brugge, Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, and PSV. And then you got the rest of the guys there that make up the bottom half of the table. So that is how we are looking. I think I am done, guys. I think I am done. I might take this one to 1 hour and 30 minutes. I'm currently on 1 hour and 26 minutes. Might just round this off to 1 hour and 30 minutes with you all. Okay, let's read that. Leon Bailey was insulted today. No joke. Feel it for him. Why? Why? You mean him coming on as a substitute and then going off? No, I think you have to look at things within context. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. I don't know. I think you have to remind yourself that he's coming back from an injury. And I think you also have to look at the string of games in which he has played. Like, he has been coming on when he does start games, he's coming off within the 60 plus minutes. You know, Unai Emery is carefully managing his return, and he has to, because Unai Emery is dealing with a string of injuries there as it relates to his main players, you know. If you're going to be upset about that, I trust that Ollie Watkins fans would have been upset when they saw him going off. You know, Ollie Watkins, one of the star boys for Aston Villa, he was also substituted, and he was substituted by Jhon Durán, the goal scorer on tonight's occasion. So taking that into consideration, I think that's more a precautionary and a tactical decision making from Unai Emery. I don't think there's anything sinister. You know, I don't think there's no bad blood. I don't think he's trying to disrespect Leon. I just think it's actually him trying to take care of him, put him in cotton wool. You know, 2 more minutes, guys. You usually play football? No, I don't. Rasta Paintings. I like that name. When I did it last year too in the PL. Yeah, I don't think it's I think to each their own, you know. We can't in terms of Leon Bailey, of course, we'd like to see him be playing 90 plus minutes every single game, manage things that's manageable as the games come. But you know, if you're talking about a neutral, you can't argue with what Aston Villa have done or what Unai Emery has done, because he's found the formula. You know, we've got to look at things and realize that manager they have to make the decision that works best for them, and whatever formula Unai Emery is working with, clearly it works for him. You know, he's brought back Aston Villa to football's biggest stage, bar the World Cup, playing European football for the first time in a little over 40, I believe 41 years, definitely over 4 decades. So we got to look at it like that as well and be fair to Unai Emery and just understand that he has to do what he has to do. Yeah, they beat Bayern Munich 1-0. The soul of the Champions League isn't the players or the teams, but the fans. Yeah, definitely. Could say that for any competition, to be honest with you. And every one of them has a story of how their squad earned their undenying loyalty. Yep. Right, guys. I am going to have to love you and leave you. I've been here with you guys for 1 hour and 30 minutes. You know what time it is, don't you? It is almost 2 a.m. It's 1:39. I think I've done enough for tonight. Bailey can't be ignored. That was the focus of tonight's show. Also spoke about Jhon Durán. Duran with a stone cold stunner. Now is your cue to go and watch that wonderful goal there by Jhon Durán. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. If I do not see between now and between now and Friday. I might not do a live stream tomorrow, but I will aim to do one on Friday. If I don't see you between now and then, I do hope that you take care of yourself. He did it twice with Leon. Again, Williams there. Shamoy Williams. I hope I pronounced your name right. Again, I think you have to look at things within context. I don't think it's nothing personal. It can't be nothing personal. It is working for Leon Bailey. You know, Leon Bailey has just equaled Jack Grealish's Aston Villa's Premier League assist tally. You know, so whatever Unai Emery is working on with Leon Bailey and behind the scenes, it's working. You know, it's good for him. And you want to manage these players' minutes accordingly. You need to also remind yourself that the season is long. You don't want to have a Leon. If anything, why complain? You know, not saying that you are complaining, but you don't want to have a Leon Bailey that's going to be battered and bruised and depleted by the time he comes to Jamaica, because then you're really going to be complaining. You know, I don't know if you're a Jamaica fan. You're probably just an Aston Villa fan. But for the Jamaica football fans, Reggae Boys fans, you don't want him to be battered and bruised. By the time he comes to Jamaica, you do not want him to be on his last leg. If he's on his last leg, Aston Villa probably played a little mind games for him not to come to us. So Leon Bailey's all right. Leon is all right. Leon bread well butter on both sides and around the edges. All right. Don't worry about him. He's good. Good night to yourself, Gunner's boss. You guys there in the comments section. Thank you for keeping me company for over 1 hour and 32 minutes. You guys are the best. Have a proper rest. I will try. Good night to yourself. Thank you. Big up all my female subscribers as well, and the lads as well. But it's nice to have other women in the comment section, you know, woman to woman. Do make yourselves known. Drop your comments. All right. If you're out and about, I do hope that you make it home safe and unharmed. If you're new to the channel, I do hope you go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you haven't hit the like button, what are you waiting on? I do hope that you guys have enjoyed my live stream, because I've definitely enjoyed speaking with you all. Should see you on Friday. If I don't see you over the weekend, I do hope that you have a smashing weekend. And you know how it goes. Until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.